All right guys, welcome back. So as you can see, we still got the motor in here. We've now got the other header built. I'll show you that real quick. Right there. So this is where the turbos are gonna be. They're just tacked at the moment. Here's the other one. We've got some notching to do up here. Over here as well. You can see we marked it right there. Pan is done. So we've got a nice baffle built in here. On this end, still got to do the pickup tube, so we're going to pull the motor out. Got this right here to just kind of keep the oil this way, and it's angled as you can tell, just to let the oil flow back. But we want to try to keep all the oil on this end here. So that's almost done. We still got to paint it. So I think the plan for today is probably pull out the engine, dismount the transmission. Matt's going to build the pickup tube. Guess let's ask him what else we got planned for today.
Yeah, so we got the oil pan done, and here's my drain, and then we got one turbo bung there for the drain back and the other one here. And what we did is we just cut the flange of the stock oil pan off about an inch down, and then formed up the rest of it ourselves. So it holds about 7 quarts. I measured it, it doesn't leak. So yeah, that thing's good to go. Like you said, we just gotta build the pickup tube to fit that tank, because right now it's a rear sump pickup tube and we just got to modify it to fit the front sump. So once we got the motor and tranny out, we're going to modify the shock towers like he said, and then just kind of clean up the engine bay, and then we can stab the motor back in for good and start doing all the plumbing. We're going to paint the motor mounts, gusset them a little bit. A couple things have changed already. We're not going to use the 3650 transmission. We got a T56 from my buddy Chris. He's got a Coyote Swap Fox body, and he autocrosses it. Yeah, check out his Instagram. We'll leave it down here at the bottom. He's got a bunch of videos of him autocrossing it. It makes a ton of power. So anyways, he had a T56 that was face plated, but he got a good deal on a Magnum. So he put the Magnum in his car and he sold me the face plated T56 for cheap. So we're gonna throw that in here. We're working on getting a bell housing and a clutch for that. That'll handle a little bit more power than our other clutch. Actually, quite a bit more power. One thing that might change is if there's enough time, we'll change out the diff and try to fit an 8.8 back there. We're trying to make a race in August, so we'll see what happens. Still got quite a bit to do. Quite a bit to make it a street car. Not as much to make it good enough for a race, but still quite a bit to do either way. And a lot to figure out still. So we'll figure out, we'll get started right now. Whatever.
Ready?
Ready spaghetti.
Ready spaghetti?
Meatballs are ready.
All right. So I had already torqued all these down and I forgot to put silicone right here in the corners. So, and I don't remember the torque specs, so we'll have to look that up again. We're looking for the dipstick tube before we seal everything back up. All right, now we can just go ahead and do some RTV there because there's a seam there, and obviously same on the other side. So let me do that.
So these are our motor mounts. They're a 2-piece thing. This will bolt where the factory location is with 2 bolts instead of 1. This bolts to the block and obviously slips in there like that. So they're solid mounted. I usually stick with a solid mount anyways. It doesn't scare me. I'm not a grandma yet, so I can live with it. So, but right now I'm gonna put a little bit of a gusset here to just tie these ears together a little bit better. Then we can paint them and put them back on the car and on the engine. All right, so I got those welded on now. So it should be quite a bit stronger now. Now we'll just go ahead and clean them up, paint them, get them ready to throw back on. So basically our pickup is a little bit too tall because that pan's a little shorter and needs to be right here centered on the block. So we might move this stud to there so we can use this coupler nut, but I need to cut out quite a bit. So I'm gonna work on doing that and show you guys what I come up with. We got this notched out. Got the pickup tube made. We just got to figure out how we're gonna do the little support tab for it. So that might be a little tricky.
Got the motor mounts painted too. This, I think it's called Ford Gray or something like that. So those are ready to go.
So here's our new pickup tube. It's obviously a ton shorter. Had to cut it all over, but fits in there like that. Now we just gotta figure this tube out, or this mount out, because it's obviously gotta sit inside of that sump. So, and not hit this bob weight and not hit that windage tray. So we'll put an O-ring on here, bolt this thing on, and see what it looks like.
I think once we get this sorted, Matt's working on it, and then I'm just tack clothing the inside of this, and we should be able to put this back on there and maybe leave it on for good now after that.
Get this cleaned up. There's that. Now we can put the pickup tube on. I think we're gonna put a little bit of right stuff on the rail. So before we put this on,
All right, guys, we got everything mounted up. Pan's on for good now. Matt added these here.
yeah.
Got the plug, the drain on this side, obviously, because we're doing twin turbo on this thing.
We gotta grab a couple bolts for this motor mount, then obviously modify the engine bay so the charge pipes fit in there, or the exhaust fits in there. So we're gonna run a remote oil filter, so I gotta make a little plate for that. You can buy them, but I'll just make one because I have some aluminum laying around. And it's pretty simple. It's, you know, these 3 bolt holes and those 2, and then we'll just run some fittings like that into it. So we'll make that. Then once the motor bay is ready, we'll stab this thing back in. It'll be in for good. And then once we get our bell housing, we'll be able to put the tranny on it, the T56. So we're getting there slowly. I
think that's gonna wrap it up for this video, guys. If you're new, be sure to subscribe. We're gonna keep working on this. We got other projects down the line.
So we got the Chevelle to finish, but it's almost done. Hopefully we'll take it to the track soon and see what that thing does. It should do pretty good. Supra's in paint.
Yeah, oh, that's right. We'll give you guys an update on the Supra, and I'm still deciding on what we're gonna do with that, but that may come back to the channel. We've got more cars coming soon.
Yeah, the Firo's still down. I haven't done nothing with it. We've just been focused on this thing. So if there's kind of some dead time on this car, we'll slap some head gaskets in it and put it back together.
Tear it up.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Catch you later.
See you.